Something is going to go on. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to put this one here as well. We have some trouble, again, as it always is, with this whole crazy thing. I hope that you guys can see me. This is the live chat. Let me say on my Facebook account that actually, here we go. A minute with a live multi-streaming. Latest video 3 minutes ago. So we were live, but I don't see any people now. No chat, no nothing. So, I don't know how to do it. Let's only go to Facebook. I'm going to log this thing off just to make sure. I'm going to figure.
I am so excited to have you here today, boss, to talk about your amazing life.
What did I?
Let's start with the fact that you're a three-time MMA
Okay. Boom.
Q&A primarily today, if anyone has any.
Okay, this is over.
questions.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go back to my normal stuff, what I normally do. So, this is Bas Rutten. Let me go on my Creator Studio. I'm on there, live. Okay. Now I got to put these sections in. Oh, what a nightmare, huh? Every time.
Yeah.
We can land on the moon. Well, we still don't do this. It's so annoying. Camera. Boom. Setup. Oh man, this is so annoying. Facebook.com. Bas Rutten.
Melissa, we're working on logistics of
Yeah.
streaming things, but. if
It's
you wanna-
coming.
If you want to do more of a workout, Melissa, maybe look at one of the previous days and do one of those, because this Q&A will record, but yeah, maybe go back to one of the other
Firefox.
days if you want a full workout.
There we go. Streaming, go live. And share to page. Let me see. Yeah, this is the Bas Rutten page. Okay, so this should be working like it was in the last few times. The room is a little smaller now, as we can see, right? But that's okay. So at least we got live. Now, we got people also here on YouTube. So let's come sit a little closer to the screen. So people, you can actually start commenting and let me know what you would like me to talk about. Bus stream live, this is a few seconds ago. Okay, good. So yes, we can start. Technology, right? It drives me crazy. So weird. Yeah, well, it's the only thing we can do. I guess I got the whole weekend to figure out how everything is going to be even better. Let me see, people. We need to see questions. There we go. Hey, Paul Logan. We got Paul Logan. It's amazing. Paulito, how you doing? Good. Hey, Martijn van Tuinen. Ik zit hier proberen te kijken of we dit allemaal aan de gang kunnen krijgen. Oké, de vragen.
Sure that wasn't English.
That wasn't English. No, that was Dutch. That was Dutch. There's some Dutch people are watching. Can you punch Corona to death? I try to. I drink a lot of Corona beer, though. You know, I'm supporting the beer, not the virus. You know, because these idiot people stop buying Corona. You can really see how dumb people are, right? Like that has something to do because it's the same name. Let's not buy it. It gives us a virus. It drives me insane. Poor Corona. It's not my favorite beer, but I like it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to support these people. So I'm the only one at the checkout with Corona beer, and everybody's looking at me like I'm Darth Vader or something. It's really weird. I have no clue why people are like that. So, okay, even kijken. Can you punch Corona to that? Have you talked about live streaming regular training? Oh, Rob Argent, have you guys thought about live streaming regular training sessions? Oh, what about last week every single day? That's what we did at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So, that's good.
And we also, going back to that, maybe what they meant is we also talked about live streaming when the gym opens back up and your regular classes.
Yeah.
So we thought about live streaming that too. That would
Yeah, that would be kind of cool, right? Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm teaching here as well. And maybe now the fight classes we cannot do because we go over special techniques. And I don't want people to know, of course, what our fighters are working on. This is important. The audio is a little weird. Is that still for everybody? Is that, let me see. Okay, let me start. Let me start by a few questions. First of all, Data, come jump in a little bit here more.
Okay.
Because, yeah, so now you can see her too. And we're still in there? Yeah, good. Okay, so Dana and I are going to do some Q&A, technical things, whatever you want to know. This is your time. Now, the first one, sparring versus drilling. What's your opinion of a sparring versus drilling debate? Change depending on the level of the students. Okay, so for me, this was funny. I was at the table one time with a whole bunch of professional fighters, and somebody was asking to the fighters, they said, what are your sparring days? And that caught my attention. I go, sparring days. And one guy, a very famous guy, goes, it was Friday. I said, Friday? I said, what Friday? He says, Friday we spar. I go, you spar once a week? And he goes, yeah. I go, and he's asking me how many times you spar. I said, twice a day. I said, but that's what we're going to do, right? We're going to spar. We want to sharp honing our skills. So I spar every single time when I work out. This is very important because that's what you're going to do. Now, you are right, because you're talking about sparring partners. It's very important to get a good sparring partner. So if, for instance, the professional guy doesn't show up and you can choose from a beginner somewhere, I wouldn't do that. That's when you get injured all the freaking time. So stay away from that. Then you simply do shadow boxing or something else. But yeah, you need high level sparring partners. I had one, Amir Perez. We would go, people would watch it, they would think we would murder each other, but we wouldn't. The body and the legs, we go freaking hard, but the head, it looks like we're going hard, but we never knocked each other out ever. So it's all about the control of your sparring partner. It's very important. And make sure that you have great protection, of course. Great shin guards, great gloves, so important. Great reps, that you make sure that everything is packed in, very important. All right.
Not those tiny little 10-ounce gloves. That's not.
Yeah,
fun
so
to
people
spar with.
still walk in with that, right? In my classes, they still walk in with like MMA gloves also, or a bag gloves. Yeah, the kid with that.
Yeah.
But then we have seen people with mouthpieces that they use in the NFL. I mean, it's hilarious that people sometimes come in. Paul Logan, who's that? Oh, I heard about that. That's the drag that guy, right? He's asking a question. When training alone and throwing strikes in the air that end with a kick, okay, come on, it's going fast. I find myself to slow down the kick. Gee, where are you now?
I know where to go.
Oh man, it comes in too fast.
Scroll this way.
Okay, up again? That's what I tried. This way.
No,
I
he
can't
should
go
be-
higher.
Oh,
I can't
really?
go higher. Yeah, that's the
Oh,
thing.
That's weird.
Yeah, this is the end. So
Uh-oh. Okay, so we have to up our speed readings.
we have to speed. Yeah, it's going really fast. So we'll get this. This is the beginner stage, right?
Submit that question again, but we were talking about, I think, or I was maybe mentioning to you after, that throwing kicks in the air, it's hard when you don't have anything to land it with.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, you're obviously way better at it than I am, but yeah, it's tough throwing, and even throwing the punches in the air. Like, I got way more sore.
Oh yeah. Plus also, high kicks is really good for you because it takes a lot of power, right? So for instance, if I started training when I came back in 2006, I didn't train for 3.5 years. The first workout I couldn't do the warm up. 2.5 weeks in, I was flying 10 rounds of boxing. Easy, full blast, bang, bang, bang. I go, man, this is going great. As soon as you start adding the kicks though, that's a whole different ballgame. That's why I tell a lot of people, even when you do, for instance, a boxing match, start adding kicks in your workout. Not during sparring, of course not, but during on the bag. Because if you're a kicker anyway, this is how you get the most stamina. Another thing is, if you're a kickboxer or a boxer, incorporate sprawls as well. Every time when somebody shouts defense, like the boss with the MMA workout, that's my voice giving you really fast instructions. Kind of what we've been doing this last week. Make sure that you sprawl, because every time you sprawl, that's when you get really tired. So that you can use for boxing, for Thai boxing. And although you're not going to sprawl in boxing or Thai boxing, it's really good for your stamina to do anyway. So that's my suggestion there. Yeah, Paul, you're going to have to reapply.
Okay, someone asked what are great core exercises. I'll try to read the question.
Okay, good. Yes, he's got better eyesight than I think. The core drill that we did, right? This drill, you put your feet next to each other, cross your hands, and you go, and you do this as explosive as you can. Very powerful. If you do it like this, I always tell people, I can do this till tomorrow morning. Nothing will happen. But if you explode and keep your head still, you go pop, 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 really fast. I'm not warmed up right now, so I don't want to go all the way in there. It's a really hardcore exercise, really attacks the sides, and it's going to be good for everything. Punching, kicking, defense, everything will become better if you do that.
So 2 people are saying the volume is low. Can we turn it up?
The volume is...
If we hit that, does that?
I have no clue if that actually works. Is this working?
Okay,
Because
we turned up the volume on the computer. Let us know if it's working. He texted you his
he
question.
texted me the question. Yeah.
That helps.
I don't know if I can simply go there now, I think. It's always good, but stopping is good as well. But stopping can also make you hyperextend your legs, so you're going to have to watch out. What I like to do when I do shadow boxing, I just put like 20-pound ankle weights on, and then I use knees. And because of the knee and the 20-pound, it's still a heavy leg that you bring up, you know? And then I only use my hip flexors. This is very important. So, yeah, what you can kick through, if you kick really powerful and then stop, I don't think that that's a good thing for you. You're going to feel your legs. I would just go nice and relaxed. That's why 20-pound ankle weights and using knees, much healthier. Pick another question, Dana.
Just 20 pounds. Just 20 pounds.
Just 20 pounds.
Someone asked, has your approach to self-defense changed since with your arm and neck injuries?
Of course, it has a little bit. Now, thankfully, I have my hand back. So I had 4 neck surgeries. My nerve slowed down, atrophied my whole arm on this side. This is about 40% of the power compared to the left side. I couldn't even pull the trigger from a gun. So that's how weak I couldn't brush my teeth, couldn't put pressure on my teeth, couldn't put a seat belt on. You have no clue. Imagine this. I could do 9 one-arm pull-ups before this happened. And suddenly I went from that, not be able to put the milk, grab the milk out of the fridge. So that was very annoying. So since my hand came back, I'm already relaxed. Now I can grab. My triceps work, so I have straight punches. My hooks and uppercuts are not that most powerful anymore, so elbows also not, but I'm still with the left, of course, and I can use my legs, I can use all that stuff. Yeah, but it's a little different. Only straight punches I would do in a street fight right now, and at least I can still grab. And once they're close, I'm still okay with strength, although it's way less, it's still pretty okay compared to a regular person. Against a professional fighter, yeah, I will be in trouble, of course. So.
How long do you warm up and do you stretch before high kick training?
Yeah, before high kick training, first of all, warm up, we start the warm up here. We're in California, we're very blessed. So it's never really super cold. So, most of the time we let them just warm up a little bit, or shadow boxing, and then we start with 1 round of boxing, just like we did yesterday in the workout. Then the second round is going to be Thai boxing. We add knees to it. And the third round, we're going to add sprawls to it. And that makes it really hard. Now, once you're warmed up like that, it's really good to go for a good stretch, yeah, especially a high kick stretch. You remember the high kick stretch? If this is the first time you guys turn in, this is your high kick stretch. That's it. Just it. Watch TV while you're watching this now, and slowly but surely, every time go a little further. The trick is to stay up straight. This is very important, because we don't kick like this. We kick while we're standing up straight, right? So make sure that you stand up straight. If you go too low though, I say this every time when we stretch, if I'm getting about here, my hips start hurting. And once my hips start hurting, then I lean over to the front. That's the only time when I change that. But that already, if I'm this high above the ground, I can kick a guy who's 6'6" in his face, I think.
Ooh, I like this one. Do you do any, miss you too, April. April, can you tell us if the volume's better? Do you do any strength training, CrossFit, or fitness?
Yeah.
Strength training.
Strength training, I'll spread it out in 2 questions, right? One is for when I was competing, so for fighters or training. Yes, what I'm doing, I like to pick 2 exercises, a pushing and a pulling exercise, and then a stamina exercise. So let's say bench press, and then pulling to your chest, and I do a conditioning exercise. Those 3 I put together, and I do them all for 50 seconds, 50 seconds. As much as I can. I keep on going. So find a weight where you can barely make it with. You're struggling with. You get 10 seconds to go to that next exercise and do that. So now you're pushing and pulling. You're starting to bloat up. Your muscles start to get tight. And then I let you do a conditioning exercise, like kicking a bag, for instance, or hitting a bag. That's up to you what you want to choose. I do that whole circuit. I do it 3 times. Then I take 3 new exercises. Another pushing and pulling. And pushing and pulling is also biceps, triceps. But pull-ups and dips. Just opposite exercises that you do, like supersets. But always mix it up with a conditioning exercise, because once you do that, that's what you're going to do in fighting as well. Now, since I'm not fighting anymore, competing anymore, doing that, what I'm doing now is just simple power training. But I'm really not a big fan of power training, but I have to do it because I want to revamp my arm. You see there's a whole dent here, the whole muscle is atrophied. So I'm working it out every day. 2 days power training, 1 day conditioning. 2 days power training, 1 day conditioning. That's how I normally do my gym, my schedule. And everything is supersets with me. So I do minimum 15 reps with everything I do. I do 4 sets of everything. I take 8 exercises, and I do that under 35 minutes. So people are going to go like, what? There's no break with me. So it's pushing, pushing, sitting down, pulling, 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 pushing, pushing, pulling, pulling, back and forth, bum, 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 bum. Next 2 exercises, ta, 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 ta. I do that 4 times, 8 exercises, and I'm out of the gym in 35 minutes. But it's a hard workout. You know, other people with the same workout, it takes them at least an hour and a half. But I just like to go fast. I want to get out of there. You know, once I'm past half, then I start enjoying it. But boy, the first 20 minutes, it's a nightmare.
Okay, there's 2 that are relating. One person asked, how can he build cardio with asthma? And then Martin here says he's asthmatic and he used your mouthpiece and it really works. So
there you have your answer there already. You know, and this is, it is a sales pitch. But if I wouldn't have this product myself, if it would be a different person having that product, I would tell you 100% the truth, the same thing. Get the O2 trainer. It's $50. 50, okay, that's it. If you buy it for your asthma, you will see the promos that I have. If your asthma is not gone in 30 days, I will give you your money back. You can keep the O2 trainer. That's how positive I am that the O2 trainer will stop your asthma. Are you still going to be allergic? Yes, you're still going to be allergic, of course. That O2 trainer can't fix that. Nobody can fix that because we're just allergic to certain things. But like last year, for instance, I was hiking and I wore a lot of pollen. I was with my dog. And suddenly I started wheezing. Now, I've been doing the O2 trainer for 2 years now. I'm getting really strong. So I go, oh man, I don't even have an inhaler anymore. I don't bring an inhaler with me, nothing. Not even when I travel, because it's completely gone. But I started wheezing, and I go, oh shit, now what? He said, you know, I figured, just keep on going. So I just kept going. I had zero trouble. So I was wheezing, but I pulled the air in so easy. I just could do whatever I wanted to do. I just walked straight up to the hill, and that's a very hard hill that I'm hiking. So look into that O2 trainer. Go to Bas Rutten's O2 Boot Camp. That's a Facebook page for O2 trainer users. There's like 3,000 people are there that are also using the O2 trainer. It takes you under 4 minutes a day, 30 repetitions with it, and it really will do wonders for you, for stamina, for everybody.
I don't know what this means. Could you show some kind?
Kyokushin kicking. Kyokushin kicks. Well, Kyokushin, they're asking me if I can show some Kyokushin kicks. Kyokushin kicks have pretty much all the same kicks as a regular person, as a regular fighter. The only difference is they don't turn in the kicks as much. It's almost fighting in a phone booth in Kyokushin. They're very close to each other, and they're kicking and they're punching all from here. So it's a very close, they're very close together. One guy who blew me away the first time I saw him was Peter Smith. Unfortunately, he became a friend of mine, and unfortunately, he passed away. He got killed for just trying to save and help a friend out. But anyway, I saw a tournament. He had to compete 6 times, and all the 5 from the 6 fights, he dropped somebody with a spinning back kick to the body. I go, dude, this guy's an animal. And then later on, he became this really great Thai boxer too. You know, I mean, he beat Rob Kamen. I mean, he beat some really great names. This guy was cool. So Kyokushin kicks are kicks very close. You don't turn in a lot. You have to watch out with low kicks if you do that. I always talk about that. What can I have the little thing? I was okay. Let's imagine. You know, I like.
We have one here, but.
Yeah, no, but I was looking for something to show like a shin bone. I wanted to, but we're going to use that in the middle.
Okay.
Now imagine this is your shin bone. It's not. The shin bone is actually, it's almost like a triangle a little bit, you know, but the flat part always breaks easier than this part, right? So if you try to break something that is this wide, like this, it's hard to break. But like this, because it's thinner, it's easier to break. If you don't turn in your kicks, you're kicking with the flat part of your shin, so to say. And if you hit with the flat part of your shin, oh, where is it? The flat part of your shin, that just simply breaks easier. That's why those Thais, the Thai fighters, you see them really turning in upside down, because they want to make sure if the shin bone is a shape like this, that they hit perfectly with this stuff, so it's the strongest. Because these guys train every single day. They fight like 300-400 times in a lifetime. They can afford to lose their shin bone, because otherwise, well, no money is going to come in. So it's very important. So that's the biggest difference with Kyokushin. I would just watch out with the low kicks, because sometimes, because they're faster and they don't open up their hips, they might connect with the flat part. And then you'll see what happened with Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, all these fighters. Every time when you see somebody break a shin bone, look back on video and you will notice that they don't, well, can you see my feet? Yeah. This foot, if my opponent is here, needs to be all the way pointing to this side in order for me to have the best alignment for my kick. And I'm telling you, look, all the shin breaks up. I tell you, 90% of the people do not do this. They kick like this. And when they kick like this, it's very hard to see to get that angle in, so they're going to connect with the flat part of the shin, and that's why they break it. Look it up. And it was Anderson Silva too. He kicked with the inside low kick, but he didn't open up this foot, so he kicked with the low part. Yeah, and on top of that, it was the low part of his shin, and he connected with the top part of Chris Weidman's gym, which is the strongest part of the shin, of course. Yeah, and then the weak part is going to give, and it's over.
If you had one strike, what would it be?
One strike. Yeah, you would say, right, it's the liver shot. That I just really love the liver shot. And just that you know how I came, my love for the liver shot comes from the fact that I got dropped my first Thai boxing class by a liver shot. And I thought I was a badass karateka, because nobody in my gym, at the karate gym, could handle me. So I went to Thai boxing, and I was sparring against a professional guy, but my hands were here from karate, right? Not because there's no punches to the head, kicks to the head, but you can see them coming. They're longer on their way, so you can see them coming. And this guy really figured it out fast. Osman was his name. I remember every time when he gave me a punch to the face, of course I was overcommitting with my hands, exposing my body. Yeah, and I think the third combination, he already got it, and he dropped me with a liver shot. It was the first time I experienced the liver shot and went down. And then, of course, Ramon Dekkers, man, he took it to the next level. This guy started dropping everybody with body shots, even Thais. You know, I go, whoa, this is freaking crazy. So that's when my love for the liver shot came from, and then I started doing it myself as well. But it all started with me getting dropped by a liver shot. Thank you, Osman.
Okay, relating to that, where's the exact place you aim when landing the liver shot? Do you find it easier to land with a punch or a kick to the liver?
Okay, so if you heard the question, is what's the exact place to land? So what I always say, I'm going to use Dana as an... it's a really horrible thing what I'm going to say. I'm going to try to punch through her and then coming out here. That's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm not making a hook, because if I make a hook and she pulls her belly backwards, I'm going to miss. So what I always say, it's not a hook, it's not an uppercut, it's not a straight punch. It's a combination of all those punches. So I'm stabbing it in there. I'm looking inside my hand. Don't do this. Oh, sides, maybe, yeah. So I'm stabbing it in there, look inside your hand, and I visualize it coming out here on her back. So diagonally through the body, go a little up, because the liver is located behind your floating ribs here, and you have to dig it under a little bit. So diagonally upwards. This is another weird thing I'm going to say. Imagine you would be Wolverine and you had a little knife sticking out here. You were able to control the knives, right? So only a little knife sticks out here, like only this big. If I would hit Dana, boom, and I pull back, and that hole that I just punctured is exactly the same size as my knife, that's the perfect punch. If I slice Dana open, that means I was spreading out the impact, and it doesn't work. I know, this is a really horrible explanation, but it will get inside your head when I do it like that, right? You go like, okay, I never want to get somebody's guts out of them. I just want to puncture them and let them bleed to death. That's much more nice, boss, with it. Never do that, guys. This is just an example. Wow.
I use that one though when I'm teaching people, because again, it sticks.
It sticks, yeah. I always have great way with. That's why I use a lot of comedy in training as well, and I use a lot of own examples. Like in fighting, I had many situations that I actually, teach. And I say, hey, in this fight, and you can literally see this. If you go to my YouTube account, all my fights are there for free. I do my own commentary, and you will hear me talk about this is what I was thinking. And here, look at him. He's very slow with a straight punch. Now I really give him my head. I want him to punch my face. And then when he does that, I kick underneath to the liver. I go through the whole way of how I set up that knockout. And it's actually pretty informative. And that's what a lot of people have been telling me. They say, I learn more from watching your fights and listening to your own commentary than I do from watching, instructional. So that's always great to hear, of course.
Just a lot more questions on
Yeah.
kicks, how we can stretch, how can they get their kicks better, anything else.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about the kick and let's break this down. So I'm going to explain to something because there's a lot of things that a lot of fighters are doing wrong. They can kick much harder. But I will this is going to be a lot of information for you, okay? So please see if you can pay attention. How do I say it the best? Okay, maybe it's the best. Imagine my target is here. Right in front of me, right? So it's right in front of me in the same line as my foot. When I kick this target, well, that's the end of my kick. This is the end of my kick. My real power is just before I connect. This is where my real power is. How can I transfer that power to here? It's very simple. This foot, don't step here, but step here. So if I give somebody, imagine both fighters, and I know this is not the case, but imagine both fighters stand across each other. They both stand shoulder width. So imagine you have two lines on the floor, shoulder width, right? And your other opponent stands on those two lines as well. If I kick with right, I always step on this line or outside the line, but I never step inside the line. And a lot of guys do this for a right low kick, for instance. They do this because they think it travels longer and it will have more power. It will take the power away, guys. Trust me on this. They always talk about a lumberjack chopping down a tree. Yeah, well, then use that example as well. You really think that a lumberjack, if he grabs a chair, a tree trunk, then he's standing here on the side and he's chopping the tree like that? No, he steps a little bit in front of it because now the power goes through the tree. There goes more power in there. Now that's an example that you always have to use. So for instance, I'm really obsessive compulsive. So if I need to fix something in myself, I'll make sure I fix it in myself. When I was young, just started Thai boxing, I had two lines, shoulder width, going through my whole house. To every room, to the kitchen, to the bathroom, to everything. And I would always walk on those lines, wherever I went, switching stance, but always shoulder width. That gave me so much more power, and for kicking it's really great. So, with kicking, always visualize, if you're in front of a bag, I would also, on the ground, I will put two lines with like painter's tape on the ground so you can step on those lines. And then with roundhouse kicks, always step on the line or outside the line, never step inside the line. Now, with a left kick, for instance, and if you're an orthodox fighter, a lot of people stand in a bladed position. So this is the kick that they have. That's the only thing. They can stretch their leg and that's about it. I don't really like that. Can you knock somebody out? Sure. If you connect at the right moment, he doesn't expect it, you let it on the jaw, yeah, you can still knock him out. But why not give a perfect kick if you can give a perfect kick? So, with standing shoulder width, like reach arm, wide open, if I'm giving a left kick, I'm throwing my left shoulder to the side, I step forward a little bit, it depends on my opponent is, of course, and then I throw my upper body as hard as I can to the right, and when that happens, I just let my leg fly. The leg flies automatically. The only time you really have to think about your leg is at the moment of impact. Because at the moment of impact, that's when you want to lock up your hip and push your body weight in there. I know, this is an incredible amount of information because it's very hard to do. Let's do this roundhouse kick, right? Yeah. Let's do this. Let me see if I stretched this morning. Let's do the left one. This way, yeah.
Low.
Middle. Yeah. That's the middle. Now, look, if I stand in one line and I try to kick, first of all, if I would stand here, you see I'm standing outside. My real power is just before I hit the shield. So I'm making sure that my right foot is standing in front of her. Now I'm going to go through. Now the end of my power is going to be dead center of her. So I'm going to go through that shield. Now, if you stand in one line, again, that's not going to do a lot, right? But if you stand shoulder width, this is a very weird way to kick, right? Standing both feet, could I generate power? See, a lot of people go like, no, you cannot generate power. Well, you actually can by using your upper body. So now, if I rotate my upper body, I can still kick really freaking hard. And that's just upper body movement. You see, so I rotate, and this is literally a drill, right? She knows this drill. We literally do this, we swing and we go here, and then we give the left kick. That is from feet next to each other. Now from here, if you're standing, I need to make a little step, and I can still generate a lot of power, but it's all my upper body doing it. I'm stepping in, and then I throw my upper body as hard to the right, here we go, and then you can still generate a lot of force. So it's all about upper body rotation. That's what I always say. This drill, very explosive, is a badass drill. Okay.
What percent was that, Bozzy?
That was already a little up there. I was like 70.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I'm warm.
I'm moving up in the world.
I'm cold. You know.
Yes.
We didn't warm up. We didn't do anything.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Have you ever had an ACL reconstruction, a cruciate ligament?
No.
No. Okay.
Never had an ACL problem, thankfully. I have no cartilage on both my kneecaps, which is way worse. Well, I don't know if you can't fix the ACL. I guess it's really bad too.
I would think no cartilage is worse.
Yeah, it's really killing me. Like standing, sitting.
Yeah, that's. A few questions about, are you gonna do any sort of update on your DVDs or any online training, anything like that?
Online training, well, we started with this now, and I figured, hey, this is kind of cool.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, so we are thinking, for you people who just joined us, to start doing this on my regular classes also. Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific. So, yeah, if you're at the East Coast, unfortunately for you guys, it's going to be 9 o'clock. But, let's stream our classes so people at home can also enjoy it. I kind of started doing this for the people at the gym because nobody can come at the gym right now. And I felt so bad for them. And everybody said, man, it's driving me nuts. And I go, you know what? Why not start streaming workouts? And then the people at home, they can do it for free as well. Everybody keeps busy because we're getting crazy.
Someone wants to know if you can send the O2 training to the Netherlands.
Yes, actually we have somebody, o2trainer.eu. And that's a true story too. That's my buddy Peter. And when I trained with the O2 trainer, within 3 weeks my asthma was gone, completely cured. I know he has asthma. I sent him one. I say, start using this thing. It's going to help you for your asthma. 8 days later, he calls me and he says, I want to sell them in Europe. I go, what's going on? He says, my asthma's gone. So he's selling them in Europe. You can ask him that question, 100% the truth. Like I said before, for the people who just tuned in, if you buy an O2 trainer for your asthma, and after 30 days, the asthma is not gone, I give you your money back. But you need to do the breathing exercise every day, which takes you under 4 minutes a day. For me, because I'm getting very strong now, I do 3 minutes. And I do a lot of repetitions in 3 minutes with the highest setting right now. So it's getting really thick. Like, look at this core, it gets really thick at the front, at the top, see? This is your breathing muscle, that top muscle. That's the expansion. The people that measured my chest expansion all said, that's all, there's only 2 who did that. But they're very prominent people in the breathing world. They said they never measured anything like I did. I blew every record away. And it's because you train the outside muscles of your core, that makes you more expand, so that you can fill up your lungs. Now, when I understand, a lot of people say this, yeah, but your lungs have only a certain amount, right, volume in there. You're 100% right. But what you don't get is that once you, for instance, you train your biceps, you start pumping. If you train your core, you start pumping. Those muscles start pumping, they're getting more tight. The muscles in between your ribs, the intercostal muscles are they called. Those are your breathing muscles, they're getting tight. And once they're getting tight, you cannot fully expand anymore. And if you can't fully expand, you can't fully fill up your lungs. That's why in the beginning, this was really funny. When you saw the old UFCs, you saw these guys who were using a lot of steroids, and they were really strong for about 2 minutes, and they would go boom, they went down. That is exact because of that reason. Because they start grappling and now the muscles start pumping up. Not only to the front, but also to the back. And guess what's behind your core? Your lungs. So now suddenly the space for your lungs became smaller and smaller. And then suddenly your soul goes strong, boom, and then suddenly their stamina was gone. That was pretty much all the time a sure sign of somebody using steroids.
Wow. Someone's commenting on that they that it really does work. So hopefully everyone can see everyone's comments. She was on oxygen. I just saw lost 80 pounds. That's great. So yeah, it really does work. People are also asking if there's a way to comment on YouTube.
Oh, I turned that off. That is so weird.
I don't know if there's a way.
Oh, you see, that's so weird because we got people that are watching. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I thought it was open. Maybe I didn't hit a setting. What happened was we went to this new app, so to say, to stream this both simultaneously to Facebook and to YouTube, but something went wrong. It turned off twice, and I didn't want to take the risk, so I just do it the old-fashioned way right now, just on my YouTube account and on my Facebook account. But the YouTube, I think when I did it on the phone, maybe I didn't click like leave comments, so I'm very sorry for that. But please go to Facebook if you can.
And so speaking of your physique, someone said, how do you stay in such great shape? Is it genetics? Do you still train all the time?
Well, it's a bunch of genetics also, I have to admit that. I'm very blessed with it. But I do train every day, and I always force myself to train. That's one thing that I'm really good at. And is at telling myself what I'm going to do, and I actually will do it. Like habits, for instance, in May now, I will be doing 2 years the O2 trainer every single day. You can literally go back on my Facebook account all the way to May 2018, and you will see, because once I decide that I'm going to do that, so I'm showing time lapses of me doing those 30 repetitions. You have to do it a certain way. But I'm just trying to tell you, it's like every morning I stretch. Every morning, every single morning I stretch. There's a whole routine that I do every single day, and if you stick with that, then it's good. What was the question? What they asked?
That one specifically was, how do you stay in such good shape, and is it all genetics, or do you train a lot?
And you see, the thing with that is, like, so if I tell myself, before I go to sleep tomorrow, I'm going to do a power training workout, I have to do it. I can't go back. If I go back on my own word to telling myself, I get sick from myself looking in the mirror, because now I failed myself. That's what I always tell people. I say, just be honest with yourself, because if you screw yourself, well, you screw over the most important person in your life. And this is not, of course, God is there, but as a person, you're the number one person to take care of. This is very important. You don't have to think about family and all that. Of course you have to think about it. What I'm trying to say is that if you're 100% taking care of yourself, then you automatically can take care of the family better. This is important. If you get drunk every day and now something happens and people come in the house and you can defend yourself, that is on you. You see what I mean? So as a fighter, they always said, who you fight for? I say, I fight for me. Oh, you don't fight for your family? I say, no, I put too much pressure on myself. If I just fight for me and have absolutely don't care what other people say about me, I fight at my very best. And if I fight at my very best, then my family automatically is going to be taken care of, because I'm probably going to win, and then I double the money or I have more money. You see what I mean? But put yourself in the number one spot. But only for that, of course, right? Only for training. Don't be the egomaniac and walking around and do that with everything. I'm just saying, for training, put yourself in the number one spot. Never lie to yourself. And once you develop that habit, that you cannot even brush your teeth looking at yourself if you didn't do something. If I say I'm going to do 10 rounds on the bag, and I walk away with 8, that night I have a hard time looking at myself brushing my teeth. That's how my mind works. It's really weird. So I rather do it so I don't have to look at myself as a failure. Works with everything in life. Whether you're drunk, whether you do drugs, whether you do this saves me with everything. So you can do that too.
I think that can relate to a good one. How do you control your mindset? Someone that's been training for a year, he wants to know how he controls his mindset if he's going to get into some fighting or sparring.
Okay, so this is what I tell my students. Imagine you're a week out before the fight. You're here at the gym, and suddenly your opponent walks in. And you say, hey, I want to fight now. Shall we fight now? And he goes, what do you mean? Well, you both go into a room, we lock the door, and you guys going to fight. If you come out, when you come out, both of you are not allowed to say who won. Would you care if you would lose at that moment? Well, everybody will give me the answer, no, I don't really care. I say, okay, so that's a problem. The problem that you have is you care what other people say. That's what your bigger problem is. And I'm telling you right now, that's 90% of the fighters have the same thing. If they lose, they don't only lose, they're going to have to listen to all these fans who bag them down the next day online, and they all can do it better. Nobody fights, but they all know it better, right? And somehow these guys, that's important to them. And I go, dude, I never gave a crap about that. You know, you do it. You're better. Why don't you fight me? Well, please let me do it. You know, it's all about you. So if you have that mindset of going to a fight with exactly the same mindset as you have here in training, that is the trick of fighting. You can be kickboxing for 5 years. Doesn't matter that doesn't mean that you can fight. Absolutely not, because we don't know how we perform under stress, and that's, let me tell you, it's a lot of stress, your first fights. I don't remember anything from my first fight. 9 out of 10 fighters will not remember anything from their first fight. It's chaos. You've never been in a situation, everybody's screaming, your friends and family members, you just hit a face, you don't aim for the solar plexus, you don't pick spots with low kicks, all that you're gonna have to learn. Remember the first time you're driving a car, and especially in Europe, you have to pass with a stick shift. Well, I remember my first day, boom, off, boom, off. The whole time, now you're, the guys in Holland, they can roll a joint while they're busy, they're drinking coffee, they're on the phone, and they do that all simultaneously while they're driving. Is it legal to do, boss? No, it's not legal. I'm just trying to tell you, you just did it a lot, and once you do something a lot, you become accustomed to it. That's the same as in fighting. If you don't put too much pressure on yourself. I have had students who are really good in training, but somehow they could never tackle the under pressure part, and the more they lost, the more pressure they start putting on themselves, and eventually they completely shut down. They didn't even want to throw a punch because they think, if I throw a punch, I'm open here, I'm open to my leg. They would start overthinking things. Guys, don't care about losing. That's another thing. I never cared about losing. Sure, I'm a bad loser, but I mean, yeah, that guy was better today. And one thing is going to happen, he's never going to beat me like that again. That was always my mindset. You know, I partied as hard afterwards, after a loss, as I did after a win. Just lighten up a little bit and let the pressure off. Now, if you fight your very first fight, what I advise you to do is don't tell anybody. And preferably fight out of state. So now, if you go out of state and you didn't tell anybody, if you lose, you don't have to tell anybody you lost. If you win, you can tell everybody, hey, I won. That's a lot of less pressure, you see? And you do that a few times, once you get used to the fighting under pressure, you know, and then you start inviting a friend or a family member, you know, because stay away from that in the beginning. Also, stay away from being the tough guy. I'm going to rip his head off, I'm going to shut up, blah, 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 because that video package that they make of you, before you go walk up to your fight, they will show that. Now you hear yourself in your own words telling the whole world that you're going to annihilate this guy. The guy is nothing. He's never as good as I am. You know, that's a lot of pressure, guys. Don't do that. So just fight, keep your mouth closed, and just do your talking in the ring or in the cage.
Okay, couple questions relating to if people are just wanting to get into MMA. One, is it too old? Or are they too old? Sorry, older guy, which you know, we have great stories about that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Is kickboxing or Thai boxing better? So like, where do they start if they just want to get into MMA? And is there an age limit on starting?
There's no age limit. We have an 82-year guy here working out with us in fight training every Saturday morning.
He's awesome.
Awesome. We have Jens. Jens came in 38 years old. He was a big power lifter, and he walked in and he just tore his biceps. He had this bar sticking out of his arm. It was like the freaking Terminator. And he says, I want to train with you. I said, when you want to train? He says, tomorrow. I say, you can't. You get this thing out of your arm. He says, no, I can't. So with my pinky, I grabbed that thing and I pulled him to me. And he goes, oh, shit. I go, see, you can't train tomorrow. We're going to have to wait for this. And all that has got to go. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, he's like 250 pounds. I said, you're going to need at least to lose 45 pounds. He said, why? Because I said, all these muscles are going to work against you once you start fighting. Well, Jens fought 12 fights. He started when he was 38. He won 9 or 10 of them at 205. He lost 45 pounds of muscle, and he became faster, and he was 30 years old, and he did a really good job. So, you know, you're never too old. And there's also different leagues, you know? Like for instance, if you're over 40 years old, well, don't fight against the young guys or 45 years old. Fight people from your own age group, you know, and compete against those people. Just talk to the promoter, you know, and they will help you, they will accommodate you. I mean, come on, it's not fun if you're 50 years old, you're fighting a 20-year-old guy who started training since he was 12. You see, that could be a problem. But if you just find somebody your own age, who's also been training the same amount of time, you know, make sure there's no mismatches. This is very important. But age is just a number. It will, if I don't work out, my mind slows down, everything slows down, I don't wake up as well. Now, in the morning, I wake up, boom, I'm awake. If I'm awake, I'm awake. I'm out of bed. That's it. I'm not like, walking through the house. I never have that. But it's because I train. The times that I wasn't training, when this whole thing happened with my shoulder and everything, I woke up hating the world. Then again, I was also at the time when I was doing painkillers for all these problems, you know, that horrible crap. If you're on that stuff, start kicking it right now. I'm telling you, it will never get better. You only go bad. And the world that's going to open up for you, a new world, even if you're on Suboxone or all that stuff that you try to take to get off of pain pills, I'm telling you, you're going to have a complete new life. I did that in 2008. I kicked, it was OxyContin, and the doctor let me be for 3 years on, Suboxone. Suboxone is like the rich man's, what they say, the methadone. You know, you can buy it at the pharmacy. The doctor will prescribe you that. And you know, put it on, you don't have to take more, and it helps with the pains, but it has a lot of side effects. Double vision, sweating. My heart rate in the morning would wake up, it's like 86 in bed. While I'm in bed, 86 is up. Sweating, double vision, high blood pressure, I mean cholesterol, everything was bad. I started making a list of all the good things and bad things, and the bad things outweighed that good list way more, so I start kicking it. And kicking it after 3 years, that stuff, well, do a Google search. See what people say. It crushed my testosterone levels to 5.
Whoa.
Not 500, 5. The doctors, they called in another doctor, he says, look at this. And both they were like, how do you get up in the morning? I said, well, it's hard. I just have to get out, and then I have to take a bit of coffee, and then I just wake up. Completely destroyed. It was completely gone. Once I stopped that crap, I kicked it in 11 days, which the doctor said he never saw before, because he says people with a testosterone level below 60 will not even come out of the bed anymore. Don't go to work, don't do it. Women have 60. So guys need to have like between 600, 700, 800, my age. My age, I think it's around 500. I had 5. That's what it was.
Wow.
So watch out with that crap. You're going to have a new life. I promise you.
How do you have so much energy?
Energy for me, that's been my entire life. My poor mother, I mean, I got kicked out of class. I mean, in 1 year, like I think 1 year was the topper was 67 times. So new schools, kicked off of schools. I mean, constantly. I was just always a very hyper kid. Maybe it comes because I had a really bad skin disease and I got bullied, you know, so I didn't get positive attention. So what you do as a kid, you become the class clown, you start doing these crazy things to still get attention, whether it's good or bad attention, any attention you take, right, as a kid. So yeah, I was a handful, and I simply never lost that. And believe it or not, when people visit me now, my old friends from Holland, they all are like this. Oh man, you're so relaxed right now. And people from America, they sit at the same table, they go, that is relaxed. He goes, oh, you have no clue. He was way worse. Like Nico, the guy that I played, the character I played in Here Comes the Boom, that was me. Everybody in Holland called me and says, you just played yourself.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, that was exactly me.
I thought the same thing too.
All the time.
Do you think your lifestyle now retains your energy, like your training, how good you eat, sleep, all that sort of stuff?
100%. What I did is, I never took care of my food. The only time, my only fight in the world that I took care of my food was my last fight. I had Ryan Parsons. He was taking care of my diet. You know, great guy, very smart guy. And when you look at that fight, I actually looked physically the best that I ever looked. You know, but that was because I would eat it like 5-6 times a day, small portions, no fat, no cheese, no this, no that. I never did that before a fight. I just drank beer, I did everything, whatever, you know. So once I realized how good I felt in 2006, at 42 years of age, I go, whoa, maybe I should change my whole diet and everything. And that's when I started becoming way more smarter, with food. You know, do I eat a lot of steak? No. I ate steaks 3 times a week. That's about it. But more vegetables, way more vegetables. Fish a lot. I do chicken a lot. You know, yeah, I really start watching out. Also salt. Salt is a killer, man. I mean, throw that out. All my vegetables have 0 salt on them. Nothing. I only put a little bit on the steak. And you know what? Do every time a little bit less. Don't cut it out right away. Why will you need to do that? Take a month before doing it. Every time. You start with 75% of what you normally take. And next week you go to 65%. You know, every time a little bit less. As soon enough, you're at 0%, and you go like, wow, I don't taste any difference. You will taste the vegetables better now without it. And I'm a weirdo too, because I burn like a maniac. So I can have a whole pan of potatoes, and I throw it in the Ninja, in the mixer, with water, and because then I can eat it faster, because otherwise it takes way too long to eat, so I can drink it. It's like baby food. But if you see me eat, have a really nice steak on the side, and then I have a bowl with a liquid that I literally drink like this. Not even with a spoon, I just drink it, and then I eat the steak really nice. My wife looks at me like...
That does not sound appealing.
It doesn't sound appealing, but you know what? This is the problem with guys like me. I don't drink because I like the drink. I like the drink because of the effect of the alcohol has. That's a dangerous thing for guys like me, you see? But I apply that to everything else. You know, so with food, I don't really care what I eat. I care about it. I'm sure I want to taste. But if it's good for me, like now I've been eating for the last year oatmeal in the morning. Every single day.
Oh, I love oatmeal.
And why do I do that? Because I feel great after doing it. And it's the same with potatoes. I eat a lot of potatoes because I feel great. Beets, I feel great. Potatoes and beets, I mix it up. I feel great after that. So everything that you feel great. And this is a really good question, because somebody asked me last week something. When you're a fighter, and every person can do this, I would always say log whatever you eat every single day. Start logging what you eat, and especially if you're a fighter. Because as a fighter, for instance, I give you an example, and I think it's a high number. It's like something about 27% of the people have the same what I have, and that's a lot. That's 3 out of 10. Lamb meat and shellfish. You build up more lactic acid. Now imagine you don't know this. And the day before your fight, you go to a sushi place and you decide to eat some lobster or whatever it is, and then the next day you build up a lot of lactic acid. Now, if you start logging what you eat every single day, in the morning, during the day, whatever, you always write it down. Then, after that, every time when you have a bad workout, you go to that log and you say, here I had a bad workout. And suddenly you will start seeing patterns. Suddenly it's like, wait a minute, the day I had a bad workout here, here, and here. Every time I ate this before. Okay, cut it out. Try that. Oh, now I feel good? Okay, never use that again. At least not before you're fighting. You can always, like lamb meat, I love lamb meat. I eat it now, but if I would have a competition, of course I wouldn't eat it the week before, just to make sure. So logging everything is a very important thing to do.
Okay, yeah, and it sounds like you eat to fuel your body, which is great.
Yeah.
Eating for fuel, and then yeah, noticing how things react in your body, that's huge. Like, I love talking nutrition. Okay, we're getting a little bit short on time. Let's maybe do some little fun ones. What's one of your best pancreas memories?
The best pancreas memories for me was hanging out with the gang there. You know, the camaraderie we had among the fighters is something. You know, I was like 6 months ago, I was with Frank Shamrock and Mauro Ranello. They live close by. We were drinking here something at the Stone House. And I look at Frank and I go, man, don't you miss that time? He goes, that was the best time, right, boss? I said, it was the best time. Not a care in the world. The only thing we had to do is train 2-3 times a day, make sure we didn't go crazy and just eat. And then for every month, pretty much, we would fight. Like, I fought my first year in pancreas 8 fights. The next year, 9 fights. I mean, we were fighting constantly. But the camaraderie among each other, I miss that a lot. Also go to Pride Fighting Championships in the morning with all the fighters who have to fight doing breakfast. Oh, breakfast in the Hilton Hotel in Tokyo. Man, because everybody's up early because of the jet lag. They wake up at around 4 or 5. Then they go down around 6 o'clock. The place is packed with Americans. You know, and every time, like Mauro Ranello and I would sit down at a table, we start cracking jokes. There's a fighter coming, a fighter coming, a fighter coming. Bum, 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 bum. And suddenly all the tables get put together. We got with 20 guys. Everybody's cracking jokes. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. It's the best time. And at the Tokyo Hilton, if you ever go to Japan and you need a hotel, in a good hotel, take that hotel, because the breakfasts are there. Ask every single person who ever been there. It will be the best breakfast you ever had.
Nice. Do you like training with jump ropes? Any tips? If so.
No, jump ropes I never did. You know, I'm a really weird guy with that stuff. I try to get tired with stuff that I'm actually going to do. Jumping rope, I'm not going to do that in a ring. So why would I do that? You know, I rather punch then to get the lactic acid to get rid of that instead of using a rope. But you know, if it's for losing weight and for your rhythm and you just had already a hard workout, I'm not saying it's bad at all, you know, but then as you know, it's just on you. I used to do it, I did 360 beats a minute and I had to do that for 12 minutes. So that's 6 a second. That's how fast I went. And I don't do doubles. I do steps. I just walk. That's how fast I would go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I can do it, but I haven't done it for a while. So now, if you do the warm-up, for instance, the boss with the MMA workout, what we're doing here, the voice, that's how we warm up in our classes. Because that is something you're going to do. You know, you start punching and kicking. So all the time, imagine you use 20 minutes of rope skipping. And you do it every workout. And you work out 10 times a week. That's 200 minutes. It's 3 hours and 20 minutes. You could have also paid attention for 3 hours and 20 minutes on something that you are actually going to do. That's how I always thought. Because over a week, if that's 3 hours and 20 minutes, that's a big difference, you see. So do something that you like to do. But like I said, if you're just for relaxing and do a nice little warm-up, do it, of course. I'm not going to say it's bad for you, but I never did any crazy drills with that.
Okay. How do you make your straight punches stronger?
Straight punches.
Or punches, period, rather.
Well, it's all about technique. And of course, some people have it and some people don't have it, but you can always increase it. First of all, it's your triceps punches. It's not this. You remember when we do the workout here, I tell people, push up like this on your fist and stretch your arms. Don't do these push-ups. Yeah, they're great for submissions, but for striking, stretch your arms because that's what you're going to do as well. Let them get used to what you're going to do. And do it on your fists. And bring the fist close to your eye line. Don't push up here. Push up more here because that is where you're going to punch. So everything mimic what you're going to do in a fight. But that, of course, footwork is the most important. Pushing off on your back foot with straight punches, that's the best one. The way I explain it to people, which I thought is a great way to explain, is like this. So if Dana stands here, see my feet? Yeah, I see my feet. Yeah, go here. Okay, so if I would like to push Dana away, and Dana stands in a strong stance, and I try to push her away, I can't. That means if I stand on one leg, I can't put my body weight in here. The only reason, or the only way for me to push her away is with my left and my right, is to have my back foot on the floor. Now I can push her away. So that means if your back foot is on the floor at the moment of impact, when you punch a straight punch, you will have the most power. That's the way to put your body weight in there. Works with hooks as well. She stands strong again, just on the side. I'm standing on one leg, I'm going to try to push her away. I can't. I'm going to fall to the side. I need 2 feet on the floor in order to push you to the side. You see, there's an, let me see, retry.
Does it stop it after?
I don't know. Maybe after an hour.
We're right at an hour. I know Instagram does.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys still see me, but it's the same with hooks. Just make sure that both feet are on the ground at the moment of impact. Both feet on the ground with hooks and uppercuts, and your back foot needs to be pushed up on when you give a straight punch with the right or with the left. You see, both comes from your back foot. So I hope you still can see this footage. Well, at least the YouTube people can still see that footage. Pushing off with straight punches, both feet on the floor at the moment of impact. Doesn't mean, and I always have to say this because people will react, it's always the same thing. Yeah, but boss, you know, I knocked the guy out standing on one leg. Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't. There's people with a really strong, powerful punch. You know, just an arm punch. So I'm not saying that. I'm always saying that if you can do a perfect punch, why wouldn't you make a perfect punch? So make it a perfect punch. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we'll stop at that. We've had several requests for you to do a dance at the end, specifically the one from Here Comes the Boom.
Oh.
So, but maybe we can add that to the other days also.
We can do that also, but you know, it's like this. I looked it up.
I forgot that one.
Twisty!
It's this and this.
It was funny when the first time when I did the twisty thing with Kevin, because we were going through the lines from the script, and every time when I say twisty, I would do this with my hand, and he freaking lost it. He says, yeah, because I like a little twist there and there, and he goes, twist this. And he goes, dude, did you come up with that? I say, yeah, I thought it was funny to do. And he goes, that's hilarious, keep doing that. So, yeah, those are fun things, you know, going to the movie and developing a character and doing certain things. You know, that's really cool stuff. Go to Kevin James' YouTube channel. He puts these videos out there. 2 days ago, he did another one where he will start a sandwich store. These are short, like 1.5, 2 minute clips. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. It's, yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's funny.
Hus,
All right,
let me
yes,
see, are they
please.
still here? You have recommend for self-defense, Mofo?
There's so much stuff.
Good memories, okay. Okay, we're still good, says Paul Logan, so I guess
Oh.
then we're still on, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah,
We
thanks,
have no,
Paul.
we have
We
no
have-
picture on our Facebook anymore.
Nothing. The camera's still on, you see, so that's the thing. I got
It
the
says-
green light.
Unable to find. Oh,
Yeah.
weird. Okay, we're still good. All
We're
right.
still good. Anyway, we went over the hour, guys. Thank you, everybody. Next week, we're going to do another session like this. Tomorrow, what do you want to do your stream on?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna do my Facebook or my Instagram live, but I think we should maybe do it on your Facebook here too.
Yeah,
Do
okay.
you wanna drop it off or maybe
Yeah, I'll come
train
by.
while I'm doing it?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah, I'll come by and I'll get the
Set it
laptop
up.
here. Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of, I'm gonna go back through the questions, but a lot of them, like we're talking about stretching and flexibility and mobility, so I can cover a lot of that too.
Okay.
And then some other general questions like, what type of gloves do you buy, you know, little things like that too. So we'll both go maybe through some of the questions.
Okay.
and I'll try to address some of those, but we should definitely do this again, because there's a lot of stuff that, you know, sorry we didn't get to everything. but
Yeah, we'll
there's a
do
lot of
this
stuff.
every Saturday probably, especially in this time when everybody's home. That's why I started it, so everybody's got something to do. Let's just do it Monday to Friday. We're going to work out, right, every day, and we're going to turn it up slowly but surely, because now I teach you the basics. But once we get there, we're going to start like yesterday. The workout already started with 3 rounds, really hard. Some people were commenting, "This is the warm up. What are you doing?" I mean, yeah, get used to it, because that's how we warm up all the freaking time. So slowly but surely, everybody wants to go through that. And always think, if you're not able to do every single combination, just skip a combination here and there. It's, you know, you're by yourself. Nobody's judging you. It doesn't matter, you know, so don't go too crazy. Just nice and relaxed.
Even when we're in class, we don't judge each other.
Never.
Always,
You know,
always.
only on technique. We judge each other on technique.
That,
though.
yes,
That's what we
that,
do.
yes, that.
That's, what was it? Planet Fitness? Dwayne Ludwig put a video. They say, Planet Fitness, we don't judge. And Dwayne Ludwig, he says, we're here at the Bang Muay Thai. We're not like Planet Fitness. We judge you on everything that you do. You know, and your technique, of course, because otherwise you never get better. It makes no sense.
Technique is the biggest thing. If you're going slower with good technique versus faster with crappy technique, then
Yeah.
obviously the slower with good. Another question relating to training, what do you think about doing any ground stuff at any point?
You know, that's a good question that you asked. I talked about my knees, my kneecaps. I unfortunately can't.
Okay.
You know, this is probably the thing I miss the most, and it's weird because I started out as a striker, but I really miss ground fighting. I wish that my knees were okay, even with my neck, you know, against good guys who know that I have this neck with 4 fusions. I would still be rolling. Rolling is one of those things that you never master. Well, it's the same as in fighting, but with rolling, every single time when I would work out, I would come up with something new. I would say, oh my God, look at this. This is a cool move, you know? And that's what I miss so much. So unfortunately, I can't do it anymore. My knees will blow up for the next 3-4 days. It's very painful, very hard walking stairs and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true, because there's so much knee flexion. But yeah, you made up a lot of ground stuff. Paul says, you so judge me.
Yeah, Paul, we judge you all
We
the
judge
time.
you.
Yeah, but that's Paul. Paul,
Just you.
Paul the muscle man. He's funny. He's hilarious. Paul Logan, go. It's not Logan Paul. Well, that was funny. Logan Paul, that YouTube guy, did apparently something really bad somewhere. And Paul Logan, who is our buddy, you know, he got all the heat for it. I go, no,
Oh, that's a
dude,
good one.
that's not my name. My name is Paul Logan. His name is Logan Paul. You know, so it was funny because everybody was attacking him for something he didn't even know about. So poor
That's
guy.
funny. That's really funny.
So,
Okay, last one, maybe, any plans to be in any more movies?
yeah, we're planning. I was going to be in a movie the first 3 months here, but they postponed that to 2021. So hopefully that's still.
good that it wasn't happening now, because
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been happening anyway.
That's true. That's true. You see, it all falls together. So you know, hopefully that will still happen because that will be a good one for me.
Okay, let's stop on that.
Awesome. Thank you guys, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Washing your hands a lot. That's what everybody says, right? It's very important. And social distancing, that's what we're doing as well. That's why I'm pretty much only doing with her, because we have other friends who still move around. And, I'm just worried. I don't want to bring it into my home. We both trust each other. I'm not going out. She's not going out. And when we do, I have mask. I have everything. I just don't want to take a risk. Not with the kids that I have. So I hope all you guys are doing the same. Just think about the old people and by accident passing it on to them. And then if it's fatal, that's kind of you did that, right? Especially if you know you're sick and then you come back. So please watch out.
We Randy disinfected this gym so much
The whole
over
time.
the past 2 weeks, and then even after we closed, he disinfected it again. So it's been cleaned so much.
Yeah, it's looking very nice here, thankfully. We are the only ones that come in.
Yeah.
So, and only one time a day. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Osu. Oh, another one. Osu. That's what it is. O-S-U. Osu. Not O-S-S, O-S-O, whatever you want to say. O-S-U is a contraction of two Japanese words. Oshi means push. And shinobu means endure. To push and to endure. They put both those names together and that is Osu. So that's why I say Osu. And now you know where Osu comes from. Godspeed. And
Have a great day.
Have a great day. Whoop, whoop.
Well, good. I'm glad Paul told us that we were still okay.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have locked it off. Bunka bunka. And then here.